Hey everybody, SPS Devo here. Just want to say thank you to everybody who who contributed and helped out during the last week. I put out a video trying to get a fundraiser to get a new computer. I have good news, great news. Within a span of only probably I think about 5 or 6 days, we were actually able to get about $954 raised. I was able to get all the new computer equipment and everything is running really good. So I just wanted to make a video. Just talked about how the whole computer building process was and just basically the overall week of when we started the fundraiser. So we started I think on I'd like to say this the 8th or the 9th. It was a Thursday we started on, and I wasn't too for sure how well it would go. But first and foremost, let's just go ahead and just read off of some of the people's names that made this possible. So we got the stream up to 60 frames per second at 720 HD, so I'm pretty happy about that. Big shout out to Tymat. Big shout out to Tuna. He's always in the channel doing crazy stuff. Chochapo Tamer, I see you, man. You've been here for a long time and always inside the stream and what have you not. Let me see. Genuine Stotts. Let me go ahead and move up my monitor. My eyes are bad. Excuse me. There you go. Shout out to Genuine Y Stotts. Hopefully I said your name right. He said he always appreciates the guides and stuff like that, and that's not a problem. I got more information to come. Then Green Machine. Gary. He's been in the channel. I appreciate him and Recause. Dispectra. Shout out to Freeman Simplar Mason. He's not an Illuminati. We always joke about that, but he's not. Selmageist. Also Sir Plated. Lanoline. Fisto. Big shout out to Red Knight. Big shout out to Drell 33. He's always been in the chat, always there. Alan the Piano Polisher. Run Puff. Ditch Boy. Calcium. Rob K, Roz Leet, Gucci for life. Hey, Gucci. I always said that because Gucci's be like, hey. I'd be like, hey. He'd be like, hey. And I'd be like, hey. Big shout out to Denzelbin, or we call him Denzel in the chat. I see you. Kesaman, Kevin's Prison, Arcreon, Arcreon. I hope I don't butcher your name. It's Aciraone. That's so bad I mispronounced that, but thank you so much. Sir Plated again. Stoic Frame, Chibipon Flapitus, and Kajo Ohio. Drell again, big shout out. He did 2 big donations, and I appreciate that. Got it to the last hump so I can have better stuff. And then also Leonidas Sprato. All you guys are, as I always say, I'll keep producing the content and keep doing the guides and the videos consistently. And now you guys can watch the stream in high definition. And as always, man, thank you guys so much, because if it wasn't for you guys, I would be nothing. I always say it all the time. I'm only as good as the company that I keep, and I keep a lot of good company through you guys supporting me and watching my stream. So I'm going to keep going back to work. Sorry I had to take a day off, but I needed a whole day to get the computer stuff situated. I was running into a lot of crazy stuff. I'll get into that to in a minute. But sincerely, thank you so much. The rewards are going to be as follows. I'm going to produce extra 2 guides within the next 30 days. I don't know what specifically I'm going to detail, but something that will be basically worthwhile for you guys to be interested in. I'm going to be doing carry runs for about a month straight, about 1 to 2 months straight. We'll think we could do 2, where basically it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, who you're in a group of. Basically, the way I'm going to do it is like I always do, kind of, but more in detail. Friday, Saturday will be carry runs for pretty much everybody. Anybody's there. Friday, Saturdays for everybody. Sunday through Thursdays for donators, Patreons, or people who contributed for the computer fund. They'll get priority. Not saying that I won't carry everybody, but you know, if they're around first, they get first priority. AD wants to carry run. Basically, if you don't have enough time in seasons, or you need a high level group, so you can just take your low level character, we can give you loot and get you carried and get you some nice items, or power level you a character if you always want to make a character in North America. It basically, we usually end up running 5 Act 1 riff. We do a full Act 1 clear, followed by 5 riffs clear, and then we end up doing about maybe I think another like 3 to 5 greater riff runs at high level. So we'll be doing that, and I'll be doing that every day, all day, just to get back to community. So if you're a new witch doctor and you need help, we got the SPS Devo community on North America for Diablo 3, so you guys can come through and get your power levels on and get helped, because you know everybody can't just stay at home and play Diablo all day like me. You know, I'm blessed to have it, be able to do it full time. Some people have work, some people have school, so you know, just so people don't fall behind, and plus to get back in community, like I said, hey, just stop on by. We'll help you out. We'll power level you. You don't have to feel bad that you don't have a high level character. We'll get you carried through the season. get you that new character. Even if you haven't made the season character yet, stop on by. We'll power level it up to 70, get you some Paragon levels, and just keep it moving for you. So that's the least I can do of appreciation to everybody who contributed and helped out. And I might do a Let's Play of a scary game. If you guys want to see that, let me know down in the comment section. We'll see what's going on with that. But anyways, now that we got the formalities out the way, let's talk about Debo's computer adventure. All right. So, on the day that I finished the fundraiser, I cut the stream around 5 o'clock, got dressed up, went down to Fry's about 6 p.m., 7 p.m., went down and bought the GTX 960 GeForce 4GB card, very solid, was able to get another gigabyte motherboard for a decent price. It came at like $73, $75. And I was also able to get a 4960 Intel i5 processor, too. And I got all this stuff, and went there, purchased it, and came back home. Then when I came back home, I thought I was old Mr. Macho, and I knew what the fuck I was doing. Okay, first and foremost, if you ever make a computer, like plan it out meticulously. I'm gonna be honest. You gotta plan that out really meticulously. I kind of did, but I didn't. I did some stupid mistakes. So like, make sure you have protective gloves. Make sure you have an anti-static wristband. Make sure you have the proper case to fit all your items inside the case. That's really important. Make sure you have a good power supply. Make sure you have a good motherboard, processor, all that. And make sure when you're putting this stuff together, you handle it very well. You also should get zip ties so you can tie the cords together inside the machine so they're not just swinging how they want. You should also go ahead and get extra screws. You should also get spacers. You also get like the little blockers. They're little things you put on your screw when you screw the motherboard in, so that the metal of the screw does not touch the motherboard. So with all that being said, I got home the first night. Now I'm usually an AMD processor kind of guy, right? So what happened was I did something real stupid. First and foremost, I put the spacers in every single part of the case, which you're not supposed to do. You're only supposed to have spacers where the holes are of the motherboard, right? Because if the metal touches the motherboard, that causes a big problem, but we'll get more into that later. So I thought at first the motherboard was defaulty, but not thinking to myself, I didn't have the spacers in the appropriate areas, and the stuff was touching the motherboard. So when I loaded up the motherboard, it would load on, and then after it loaded on, it would just shut off and cycle, right? And then eventually, when I only had the motherboard in, the BIOS booted and everything was great, but as soon as I added any kind of power, plugged anything extra in, it would start crashing, so I was frustrated. I thought maybe the processor wasn't in, so I was pushing the processor. I was stupid. I pushed the pin in too much, fucking around with the processor. Because with AMD, you just put the pins inside and you lock it down, that's it. With an Intel, you don't do that. I killed a motherboard that way. I ruined the pins, so I couldn't figure out the first night. And I said, okay, well, I'll just go back tomorrow and we'll figure it out. Maybe it's a bad motherboard. Okay. Because basically I was doing reasoning. I'm like, it's not the graphics card. It's not the RAM. It's not this. It's something with the motherboard. So next day I wake up and go to Fry's. I said, okay, we're returning back the motherboard. So I take the motherboard, put it in a Walmart bag, and with the Walmart receipt, and had the wrong bag and drove. Now keep in mind, it's about a 20-minute drive down to Fry's for me. And it's about a 20-minute drive back. So it's 40 minutes every time I make a trip to Fry's, minimum. That's just drive time. That's not even counting the time that they're there. So I get there, go in, and then I have to immediately leave because I realize I had the Walmart bag and the wrong receipt. So then I go all the way back home, right? Grab all the things. I grab my motherboard, some other pieces, and come all the way back. Go back to Fry's. And then I get in line, and then I return the motherboard, and they're like, hold on, you check to say it's missing 8 pieces. I'm like, 8 pieces? Well, let me tell you the rundown about Fry's. If you ever buy anything from Fry's, make sure you save every speck of item inside of the box. Don't throw away the plastic, don't throw away the cardboard, save everything. Like, bring it out, test it, make sure it works, and if it doesn't work, just put everything back in the box the best you can and have your receipt, but make sure you have everything inside the box, because if it's missing anything like a faceplate for a motherboard, anything weird like that, you're screwed, basically. Also, the motherboard return policy, whenever you buy a motherboard from Fry's, they make you sign something that says something along the lines of, like, you just can't return back this motherboard if the pin's broke or something's crazy. Now, if the motherboard's defective, they'll take it back, but if there's any kind of user abuse or anything and you don't have all the items, they will not take back the motherboard. So she schooled me, and she's like, this is wrong, can't do this. But she was very nice, I have to say. She said, oh, let's keep motherboard. Sorry, sir, I can't help you. And I looked at her, I said, you know what? that was my fault. I pushed down the pins on the motherboard and ruined it. And she was very nice, and I said, oh, okay, it's all good. She's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, you don't have to be sorry. I made the mistake. I didn't respect the computer. I just kind of just did what I wanted to do and thought I was a Mr. Computer expert, and I never dealt with Celeron or Intel processors. I've only been dealing with AMD stuff and AMD chipsets, and AMD is so easy. But yeah, I think Intel's better overall. So I took that, came back home, and I was like, okay, I know it's probably my fault, and I know the motherboard's probably okay. I probably just did something silly or stupid. So I went back home, cleaned up a little bit, and then I got lazy. I was just sitting there falling in and out of sleep, and like I said, later on in the day, because like I said, I was waiting. I already bought all this expensive stuff and all this crazy stuff. I had to go back and rebuy another whole motherfucking board. So, got paid by Twitch, because we get paid on the 15th. And once that happened, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I went back. So I bought another motherboard. So, like I said, I had my processor, I had my motherboard, and I'm freaking out at home because when I bought the motherboard, I was thinking like, oh my gosh, if I smash the pins on my motherboard, the Intel i5 processor just spent all this money on, it's gonna be broken. But thank God, there's no pins on it. It's like gold, like little plates, and it sets atop the pins. See, with the AMD processor, if you've been the pins, you're done, and that's it. Like once you do that, you're done. You're screwed, right? Went home, checked the processor. I was like, oh, okay, good. And I was like, okay, good. Thermal paste, got everything good to go, and I put together the motherboard and everything, and then it was still having the problem. But this time, it would boot. But sometimes it wouldn't boot. It was real unstable. And when I added more stuff to it, the same problem again. I said, okay, this has to be something that I'm doing. So I'm like fighting with this computer for hours upon hours upon hours. And I said, okay, maybe it's the power supply. That's the last thing I could make sense, because the power supply's out. Went to the store last minute, drove all the way back to Fry's. So keep in mind, day one, went to Fry's the night before, went to Fry's, bought my stuff, came home, didn't work. Went back to Fry's in the morning, trying to return something, but I forgot the wrong receipt, came back home. Went to Fry's with the motherboard, told that I had fucked up everything, and I went back home. Went back to Fry's, bought the new motherboard, went back home freaking out. Process was good. Went back to Fry's finally because I couldn't figure it out. Bought a new power supply, and that was pretty much about it, and some extra screws. Now keep in mind, on the Fry's trip before that, when I had to go back just to rebuy the motherboard, I bought like a wrist guard, I bought like a wrist anti-static wrist, I bought the gloves, I bought extra spacers, I bought everything because that's like, it has to be something I'm doing, and I don't want to ruin this motherboard because I don't want to come out of pocket again. So I get the power supply, the new one, and I go back home and I hook up everything and it's still not working. And I was so frustrated. I'm like, what the hell am I doing wrong? And then I start looking up things that commonly happen when you install a motherboard, and I did one of the most stupidest things ever, because I thought when the system was starting over and over again, it wasn't booting, I thought the motherboard was charging, and I was so stupid. What actually happened was that on a motherboard, they drill holes into the motherboard. The only places where you can put the spacers at, and a spacer is like a little thing that's, I think it's non-conductive or whatever, that you set inside your computer case, and then the motherboard goes on top of this conductor, and then the screw goes through it and it secures it. And you're supposed to put like another little blocker in between the screw and the motherboard. And what I did was, like, I thought I was so smart, right? I put the little spacers everywhere, and you're only supposed to put the little spacers or whatever underneath the hole of the motherboard, because that part is specially designed so it doesn't conflict with the motherboard. So all these spacers was touching this motherboard, right? And then I was reading on Google on my phone, I'm sitting there like, what am I doing wrong? And it says, one of the most common things is that you're only supposed to have the spacers into the holes, and if you have it touching the motherboard, that can make it very unstable. And I'm like, no, it can't be that. All this drama, messing up the first motherboard. Well, I think I would have messed up the first motherboard anyway, because I hurt the pins, or I pressed down on them. But, like, I went back, I took all the spacers out, right? Redid everything, and then it worked. Had no problems. I was shocked. I was like, dude, I can't believe I made that mistake. So I was like, great. And I started putting everything in, and then I realized my graphics card is huge and it couldn't fit in the case. Luckily, I had an old CyberPower case that was really huge, and I had to re-clean it and refurbish it and do everything and reconnect all the connectors and make sure everything was good. And finally, I was able to get the motherboard in there. Tested it, everything came on fantastic. Tested my Windows, booted up perfectly. Hooked everything inside that bad boy, cleaned everything up, double checked again, make sure everything was working when everything was plugged in, zip tied everything off, sealed everything up, everything was great. I'm trying to think what else did I do. Then I had to go through the whole thing about, because I didn't want to reinstall Windows, so what I did is I already pre-installed the drivers before I actually undid my other computer. So I reinstalled all the drivers, right? For the motherboard and the video card. And then when I booted it up on the new computer, it was still having problems, but well, it took like an hour and a half because it was running so slow because of all the old registries, and it was a nightmare, but it wasn't too bad. I ran the program that detected my chipset, and then it detected like the drivers I had for the graphics card. Everything was started. Then I ran CC Cleaner and wiped out all my old registries, and after that, everything's been smooth as butter. So I just wanted to tell you this guy's story because I thought it was pretty interesting. If you guys ever buy a computer, just don't make the mistakes that I did. Respect your motherboard. Make sure you don't put any extra spacers. Make sure you get a case that's big enough for everything you have. Make sure you do your research and make sure everything's compatible. And make sure you do things very calmly and collectively. And I'll say this, if you really just can't put it all together, buy all the equipment, go to Fry's, pay them $50 and have it do it. Now I'm saying if you want to learn for yourself, that's fine. As long as you know if you fuck up, you're going to have to pay for it. Like I did, I had to buy an extra freaking motherboard, and that sucked because that was just money out the window. But, yeah, man. That's what happened. That's why I was gone for a day. I've been itching to play Diablo. I'm going to play some today. I just want to tell you guys again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. God willing, God's been good in my life in terms of streaming and everything that's going on. And most importantly, I just want to reiterate it's for you guys. You guys watching the YouTube videos, you guys watching the stream, you guys subscribing, you guys donating and doing everything you do. If it wasn't for people like you guys, I would be nothing. Without you guys, I am nothing. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was just really nice that everybody was able to do that, and people were so kind. And I'm going to keep putting out guides, putting out a lot of information about what's going on in the world of Diablo, and keep you guys up to date. Like I said, for the rewards, I guess I want to do about 2 months of carry runs, so stop on by. I'll carry you. Because like now we can run groups and do stuff like that. Then I do got some special stuff planned for like sub/Patreon Sundays. Check that out, coming out soon. And putting some extra rewards for the Patreons and stuff, and figuring something out for the Patreons and subs. At least doing a once a week thing where we play a different game or something. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And in the future, I got by summertime, I want to have my taking all my old computer parts, and I want to make a second computer. And what that second computer is going to sit right beside me over there on that table. And what I'll do is, when I get done streaming for the day, what I'll do is I'll just run the same stream I just ran for the day. I'll run the stream from like a week ago, or maybe figure something out so that there will always be a Devo stream up. So even if I'm not there live, you can come and watch or just listen to the music or see what happened that day and what I found and stuff. So look forward to that. I'm looking forward to it for the whole year. Hopefully I can make it out to BlizzCon. I'm not going to buy a ticket on April 14th, but we'll see if I can, if maybe Blizzard, somebody from Blizzard sends me something, or somebody has an extra ticket down the line I can buy off them. Maybe I'll look into it. And it'll be nice to meet with everybody and group up with people I know in the community of Diablo 3 and stuff. But hey man, that's enough talking to me. It's about an 18-minute video. I'm gonna be, like I said, stop on by, get a carry run, especially if you donate. At least I can do. If there's anything else special I can do for you that you contributed, like you need help or any information about your Witch Doctor class or advice about stuff, just go ahead and message me. Best place is Twitch. It also kind of works on Facebook too. But just in general, thanks. I want to leave all my computer specs inside the description. It may not be there immediately. Give me a day or two because I'm getting all this stuff figured so I can get back to playing, because I'm really itching to grind out some Diablo. But I got to do all my professional stuff. I got to thank the people that made all this stuff happen. So outside of all that, good luck in this season. Even with the crazy new exploit out, the Blood Goblin exploit, but we'll talk about that later. 30,000 blood shards is stupid. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you again. Hope you guys have a good day. And also side note, I will be putting everybody's name in the description in the Computer Upgrade Hall of Fame, and you will have your name immortalized there. I didn't put all the money of what everybody donated because I don't want people's business out there like that, but I did put their names. Outside of that, man, thank you guys so much. Have a good day, and I look forward to seeing you guys in groups and stuff. I'm Debo, and I'm out.